Meadowbrook, historic. Concours d'Elegance. And this is from the corner of Meadowbrook Hall, looking out across what is normally a golf course, but now is full of cars. 1954 Plymouth Belmont Concept Sports Roadster. Interesting looking headlight treatment here, where they put it back in there, but then put a chrome bezel over it. And the back end of this, which those are like Chrysler taillights from the 50s. The interior. 1960 Chevrolet Corvette Serve 1 concept car. Looks like a racer. Of course, it's a V8, and those are each cylinder has its own like carburetor going into it. 1964 Chevrolet Corvette concept Serve 2. For some unknown reason, this is a right-hand drive. 1990 Corvette concept Survey 3. This is rear engine, rear wheel drive. 1997 Chevrolet Corvette Survey 4 concept car. This looks an awful lot like a regular Corvette. Even from the back end, it looks like a regular Corvette. The frame around the windows looks a little unusual, though. Class 1C, the 100th anniversary of Cadillac. 1912 Cadillac touring car, Series 30. 1917 Cadillac 55 Club Roadster. 1903 Cadillac Model A. 1914 Cadillac Touring. 1908 Cadillac Tulip Wood Body. 1906 Model K Runabout. 1913 Cadillac Model 30 6-passenger touring car. 1922 Cadillac Series 61 Roadster. This is number 2, Class C. 1932 Cadillac 355 V8 convertible coupe. 1930 Cadillac V16 Phaeton, body by Murphy. 1930 Cadillac Model 452 V16, body by Fleetwood. 1928 LaSalle Model 328 rumble seat convertible. And over here we have a car, and I'm going to straighten it up because it's actually sitting on a side hill. It's a nice LaSalle. Some of the interesting little things are like hood ornaments.
That's so much easier.
And even the ornament on the rear view mirror here. Inside the tent here for the Guild of Automotive Restorers is a Schneider. That's what it says across the front. Never heard of it before. 2-door. Excuse me, the back door was not evident to me. Really low slung body though. 1931 Cadillac V12 370A convertible coupe by Fleetwood. 1930 Cadillac Roadster. 1932 Cadillac Series 279 dual cowl Phaeton V8. 1931 Cadillac V12 Sports Phaeton. 1927 LaSalle Series 303 dual cowl Phaeton. 1930 LaSalle all-weather Phaeton body by Fleetwood. 1930 Cadillac V16 all-weather Phaeton body by Murphy. This is 6 Class C, and from just an overview of this area here, this is all convertibles. 1941 Cadillac convertible. 1939 Cadillac 733 V8 7-passenger convertible. 1934 Cadillac V8 Series 10 Model 721. 1932 Cadillac V16 Phaeton. 1940 LaSalle Model 50 convertible V8. Produced 599 of these. This is Group 8, still Class C Cadillacs. 1930 Cadillac Imperial Limousine. 1927 Cadillac 7-passenger sedan. 1932 Cadillac V12 limousine, 7-passenger limousine. 1929 Cadillac formal town car. 1933 Cadillac coupe. 1930 Cadillac V16 Madam X. This has interesting little compartments along the side. It probably has an outstanding interior also. 1929 LaSalle. 1953 Corvette with a blue ribbon just placed on it. 1957
We'll be underway with our program
Corvette
right about 12 o'clock noon sharp. If you want to stay
was the first production of fuel injection. 1962 Corvette. 1963 Corvette, the only gear of the split window.
Back to original.
1967 Corvette. This one's got like a 427 hood on it. Yes, it does. 68 Corvette with a 427. This is Class B, 50 years of Corvette. Most of the field here is made up of either Class B or C. B being Corvette and C being Cadillac. 1976 L82 Corvette. 2003 Corvette Indy 500 pace car. Nobody put a sign on this here advanced research vehicle.
There is no wetlands.
But it's a Corvette. 1973 Chevrolet Corvette Aerovette concept car. 76 Corvette. Now, what has been changed on this besides the fins on the back? It doesn't have flip-up lights. It's got molded in lights. 1968 Corvette concept.
Thank you for sending me that.
1953 experimental pre-production Corvette. 1969 Corvette Reynolds concept car. This is aluminum. 1965 Corvette Manta Ray concept car. This is Billy Mitchell's 1964 Corvette coupe. 1963 Corvette. 1961 Corvette Mako Shark. The back ends of some of these, like the Mako Shark, they put an extra pair of taillights in it compared to like the one that's beside it. Or that one over there that's Billy Mitchell's, that has 6 taillights also. And here's the back end of the Manta Ray with the taillights really underneath it and a really swoopy top. And here's another tail end, and this one looks more like Pontiac back end. And really aerodynamic to the 203 or 2003. 1959 Corvette BP race card. These are all race cars in here. 1989 Corvette Challenge Stroh's Light race car. 1962 Corvette Sebring race car. 69 Corvette Owens Corning race car. 1956 Sebring Corvette. 1959 Corvette Stingray Pace car, race car. 1960 Cunningham Corvette race car. 66 Roger Penske Corvette Sunoco race car. 1956 Corvette Super Sport. 1968 Corvette Le Mans car. 69 Greenwood race car. 88 Corvette Splash. 2000 Corvette Dale Earnhardt 24 Hours of Daytona race car. We're back into Class C, more Cadillacs. 1959 Eldorado Barrett's convertible. 1960 Eldorado Barrett's. 78 San Ramiro. 1975 Eldorado convertible. 1962 convertible. 59 convertible. 1967 DeVille. 1957 Series 62. 1938 Cadillac 90 Town Car Fleetwood. This has got a removable convertible top over the driver's compartment here. 40 LaSalle
Last night was the
four-door sedan.
was the dress up.
1940 60 Special four-door sedan. 1941 61 Series Fastback. 1939 60 Special four-door sedan. 1941 Cadillac 60 Special Formal sedan. 1936 Cadillac Model 60 Deluxe Coupe. 1953 Eldorado Sport Convertible Coupe. 54 Eldorado convertible. 56 Eldorado convertible. 1952 Eldorado has a blue ribbon on it. It's getting ready to go receive its just rewards. 53 Supercharged convertible. 1947 model 6267 convertible. 47 Caddy. And because he's got the hood up, we'll take a peek at this engine underneath here. 1950 Cadillac convertible. 56 Eldorado Barrett's. 1956 Series 62 Sedan DeVille. Now we're into sedans. This is a four-door. 1956 Coupe DeVille. 1949 Coupe DeVille. 56 Eldorado Seville. 58 Eldorado 60 Special. 1955 Coupe DeVille. 58 Eldorado Barome. Now this is a four-door with a suicide back door. Very interesting, probably a special car. This has a stainless steel roof on this, besides having special doors. 1966 Fleetwood Special. 75 Fleetwood Special Brome. 1980 Cadillac Seville Bustleback. 60 four-door hardtop. Flat top. That means that the pillars around the back there made this a really flat roofed car. 61 six-window sedan. 62 sedan. 1967 Eldorado. 1976 Fleetwood 75 formal limousine. 73 Coupe de Ville. 60 Eldorado Bertram. Class A vintage through 1924.
I must say that if you are interested in any kind of no better place to be than Meadowbrook Hall.
Because I can't pronounce the name,
of the finest in
we'll do it this way. Isoda Franceschi or whatever. Beautiful car. The guy just pulled the marker, meaning that the guy inside who is pumping it up is getting ready to drive it away.
As the presentation of colors begins,
An EMF that is a brass era car that is getting ready to leave. They pulled the sign. This is one of the blue medal winners. 1913 Stutz Bearcat. A nice blue ribboned Cadillac. I don't know what year it is. They'd already pulled the sign because of this being Class A, which is the first to receive awards. Here's a car that's not roped off, the Firebird 3, which is one of them that look like as if it would fly. A 1956 GM Suburban pickup. They're getting ready to crank up this other Firebird over here. These are turbine-powered cars. There's a real fire engine here too. It's a GMC. Class K sports cars from 56 up. 1959 Alfa Romeo. 1969 Lamborghini. 1967 Maserati. 1969 Jaguar 8-type. 58 Jaguar XK150 Roadster. 1956 Austin Healey 100M. 66 Jaguar E-type 4.2L fixed head coupe. 1965 Shelby Cobra 427 Roadster. 69 Morgan 1600 GT Roadster. 1965 TVR Sports Coupe. 1973 XKE 12. Sorry. 1963 Maserati Class J sports cars through 55. 55 Lancia Spider. 49 MG TC. 1953 Austin Healey Prototype Model 100. 1936 Morgan Super Sport. The thing that looks unusual about this is that you don't notice that it has a single rear wheel, which is driven by the V2 out in front. The drive shaft runs alongside the driver. 1955 MG TF. 1953 Nash Healey. 1949 XK120 Jaguar alloy. Class H European 1920 through
He also has a car on display at
1942. 1925 Voisin 3CL transformable Berlin 36 De La Haye Coupe. 1931 Rolls-Royce Phantom 2. 1924 Rolls-Royce Springfield. This car, Silver Ghost. This car was delivered to Hollywood in 1925, and it spent 75 years in Hollywood. It is not. 1927 Hispaniola Souza 38 Talbot Lago T25 Pigon 18 Aerodynamic. 1936 Rolls-Royce Springfield.
To all of the judges, gentlemen, thank you.
1934 Mercedes-Benz 500K Roadster. 1938 Porsche. Note the horns mounted on the front there.
He drives not only his vintage cars, but also drives vintage race cars for others. He promotes an event.
Class I, which is European, 46 through 55. 1960 Jaguar Mark II 4-door. 58 dual gear convertible. 1948 De La Haye Cabriolet 135M 3-position drop head, meaning that the top would go back to just expose the driver, or it could go all the way down, or just back over the back seat. 1958 Mercedes-Benz 200S Cabriolet. 59 Jaguar Mark 9 4-door sedan. 1953 Mercedes-Benz 300S Cabriolet. Class N American Performance. 70 Dodge Hemi Plum Crazy. 1967 Camaro RS SS convertible. 68 Shelby 500 KR. This has a extra long front end on it, and a souped up 500 engine. 1968 Beaumont SD396. This is a Canadian convertible. 65 Olds 442. 1963 Impala 409 425, meaning that this engine here is 425 horsepower. 1972 Plymouth Roadrunner GTX 440. 69 Plymouth Roadrunner 440 6-pack, meaning that it's got 3 2-barrel carburetors on it. 69 Pontiac GTO Judge. The difference between the regular GTOs and the Judge was that this didn't come with any chrome, it just came with stripes. It was a lower cost GTO. 1970 AMX. 1969 Camaro ZL1 Rally Sport. Class G, which is American Luxury. I believe it's 1948 through 55. 1950 Lincoln Cosmopolitan Capri. 1957 Ford Thunderbird E. 1958 Pontiac Bonneville convertible. There seems to be quite a lot of attention to the engine here. 53 Packard Caribbean convertible. 1948 Chrysler Town sedan. This is an unrestored car, and obviously he's gotten a ribbon, so he's driving away. 1957 Plymouth Fury two-door hardtop. 1962 Imperial LeBaron. This is Class Q, which is Frank Curtis cars. A special display of the Curtis cars. 1948 Curtis Craft midget race car. 1958 Curtis Craft Roadster race car. 1963 Curtis K500L. This is an Indy type race car. 1955 Curtis 500X Zidar Special.
Very much.
1954 Curtis Craft 500.
And difficult car to see.
1952 Curtis Craft 4000.
Michael Valine. He is the
This is
CEO
sprint
of
car type.
Felicia and the best.
This is a 1954 Curtis 500S. This has a little different fenders than the black one.
Yes, they're about 7.
1952 Curtis 500A Indianapolis race car. Class P. Here's Arrow. 1931 Pierce Arrow, Model 36 4-passenger tonneau. 34 Pierce Arrow convertible coupe. 1934 Pierce Arrow Town Brougham. 1930 Pierce Arrow touring car. 1926 Pierce Arrow Roadster. 1936 Pierce Arrow convertible sedan. Class M Auburn Duesenberg Cord. 1923 Duesenberg Miss Paul and Irish. I would take that's the bodybuilder. 1935 Auburn boat-tailed Speedster. 1931 Duesenberg J 456. A Ralston Victoria convertible. The engine in the Duesenberg. 1936 Cord convertible. 1930 Cord L29 Ralston Roadster. These are front engine, front wheel drive.
But they never really.
The engine.
One way to get on the city people's heads. He's got the right idea.
1937 Cord Beverly. 1929 Duesenberg Common Car. 1936 Auburn Supercharged Phaeton. 1929 Auburn Speedster, also a boat tail. Class L race cars. The sign they pulled away already because of it's got a blue ribbon on it and it's about to leave, and it's a C model Jaguar. 1927 Alfa Romeo Spider 6C 1500 millimeters. Another blue ribbon winner that they pulled the thing from in front of. This is a Maserati. And one of the things they did to streamline this is these are glassed in, rounded out the front where the headlights sit back in. 1933 Maserati 8C3000. 66 Ford GT40 Mark 1. 1927 Vernon Derby race car. 1956 Lotus 11. 1957 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. This sign here explains this 1952 300 SL racing sports coupe better than I can read it all, but this is a very early sports light racer. This is like the original SL sports light car. 1954 Gullwing. 1957 SL Roadster. This is the replacement for the Gullwing. 1963 the Pagoda Type W113. They made 48,912 of these. 1971 the first 8-cylinder SL. 1989 this was such a good car that they built it for 12 years, and they built almost 205,000 of these in 12 years. The 2002 model SL. Class E American Classic Closed. 25 through 42. 1937 Cadillac Model 60 sedan. 1941 Packard Formal Limousine Model 180. Vinyl top. 1940 Lincoln Zephyr Continental Club Coupe. 1942 Buick Estate Wagon. 1938 Chrysler Royal Town Sedan. Class D American Classic Open 25 through 32. 1932 Lincoln Dual Cowl Phaeton. 1933 Stutz DV32 Roadster. 1929 Essex Boat-tailed Speedster. The hood ornament on the Essex.
So many cars, so little time to look at them.
1930 Packard Roadster. Class F Classic Open 34 through 42. 42 Packard Convertible Coupe. 1937 Chevrolet Cabriolet. 1936 Packard Convertible Sedan, body by Dietrich. 1936 Hudson Custom 8 Convertible Coupe. 1936 Packard 120 Convertible. This Hudson over here has a Best in Show ribbon on it. It's a V8 also. This 1957 Chevrolet fuel-injected convertible was off receiving its Just Rewards. It is a blue ribbon winner. 1955 Imperial. This is a Best in Show car of this group here. And one of the things that's significant about it is that because of it was a prototype, it's has 4 bucket seats in it.
I grew up with that. You knew you had to be a motorhead, you know what I'm saying? You knew.
Well, he was partial to the crisis too.
1955 Buick Roadmaster convertible. This is a Blue Ribbon winner also in Class G. Beautiful color combination, yellow and black.
Bottom on that.
Matching interior here.
It's just a great way to mix and match your leather and suede. Again, something that's a little bit different for the fall. Doesn't always have to be head to toe.
1958 Chrysler 300D convertible.
Express our appreciation. A round of applause.
46 Chrysler Town and Country convertible. 1962 Chrysler Imperial LeBaron. 57 Fury 2-door hardtop by Plymouth. 1949 Plymouth Woody station wagon. 48 Chrysler Windsor Highlander convertible. 53 Packard Caribbean. Beautiful convertible. This is Class O, and this is
Some of them are actually going to be making it into production or very similar models thereof.
72 Dino.
Of course, you can go back a couple of years.
Ferrari 1961 400
I think
SA.
have a tremendous new lineup. Got
250 GT.
Had a business trip to England.
A nice black Ferrari. 1954 Maserati GCS. 1933 Maserati 8C 3000 Grand Prix.
Who it might be. Steve, you know the car? Describe her.
1924 Indy race car. It says Barbara Warwick on the side of it. This is a Ford. The engine is Model T based, or the block is anyway. From the head down is a Model T block. Of course, the water pump is not Model T, but it has overhead cam heads on it. Some of the thing that I found interesting is that this is a block of wood wrapped with tape on both the shock absorber and the front axle. It's for aerodynamics. Really interesting race car. The front end of V16 dual cowl Phaeton. Beautiful red color. This has turning lights on it, meaning that these lights here follow the front wheels. And because of it's in a tent, it may not come out real well. 1931 dual cowl Phaeton Cadillac.
It is time for the best in class of the early Cadillac.
I'm inside the art tent.
Seen on cars all through
And
the Concours delegates. This is the tulip wood bodied car.
I've seen some of these artists in other places before, including the man who does these beautiful
the only existing example of this body style. If you notice the shape,
sculpture work here. These are cast.
and what is unique about it, I can see from the rear, it is a chain drive, and if you can listen to the
Now he gets thousands of dollars for these.
It is the 1953 Mercedes 300S Cabriolet, and it is owned and driven by Bernard Guston from Essex, Massachusetts. It is reminiscent in a great way of the 540Ks of the pre-war era. Talk about a luxury ride. Here's one you rarely get a chance to see. It is a dual Ghia convertible. The year 1958, the current owner and restorer from Boyne City, Michigan. This is Mike Stowe. And the best in class goes to this 1948 Delahaye. It is a 135M 3-position drop-head cabriolet. Let's move to the celebration of 50 years of Corvettes as we have the first of our Lion Award winners. And this is a 1953 Chevrolet Corvette owned by James Patterson from Louisville, Kentucky. And this, of course, was the first production Corvette year and powered by the Blue Flame 6. This is a name that you might begin to kind of log in your memory banks because Glenn Conkle has one of the premier collections of Corvettes and muscle cars in the world. Unfortunately, business kept him from being here, but he wanted to make sure that his car was displayed. This is Werner Meyer and his prototype Corvette, winner in a Lion Award presentation, the blue ribbon signifying that. This is a 1953 Chevrolet Corvette EX122. George Kerbeck is the current owner out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Look at this, Mike Yeager. As I am brought back into my roots.
Some of these people are really such show-offs. You know? I mean, I remember these cars running at Le Mans and places like that, and it's very interesting that we have a very old pal of mine here, Luigi, we all know him as Coco. He's become Luigi as he's got older and wiser, and believe me, that's a relative term. But Luigi is the son of Luigi Chinetti, who won Le Mans 3 times. And when this car was running with NART stickers on it from his father's team, Coco was driving Daytona Ferraris at the same place. So I think it's only appropriate that he should award the Lion here.
Our next award winner in the Lion category, Bill Sporley from Indianapolis, Indiana. It is a 1956 Chevrolet Corvette Super Sport. And this is extremely rare. And with this opportunity you have here at Meadowbrook to celebrate the 50 years of Corvette, you see a lot of what would be described as the concept cars. The Owens Corning race car, Greg Sniper and Rich Cronin from Northville, Michigan, driven in competition by Tony DiLorenzo. Ladies and gentlemen, a very unique opportunity. This is the 1960 Cunningham Corvette race car. This is Chip Miller from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, one of the 2 Millers that present all those great events at Carlisle. Now that it's quiet, Murray, you get a chance to talk to Chip.
This, of course, is an extraordinary car. It's a Cunningham car, a very original car. It appeared at Sebring, its first opportunity, and it was rolled by somebody, unfortunately. Then it went to Le Mans, where it was driven by 2 great American drivers, John Fitch, who's still with us, and Bob Grossman, who unfortunately died just a few months ago. The interesting thing was the car was running great against a whole bunch of Ferraris, and then at one stage towards the end of the race it started to overheat, and they didn't know what to do about it. Pour more water in. You weren't supposed to do that. So they managed to find the most incredible trick. It became the Ice Cream Cunningham, because Bill Frick, who was one of the engineers, had a wife with him, his wife at the time, maybe still his wife today. Anyway, she had an ice cream truck. You know, American teams at Le Mans in those days were very well organized. We had Coca-Cola, they had ice cream. And so they took dry ice from the ice cream maker and put it in the car. And for the last hour and a half, Bob Grossman stopped every other lap and they put dry ice in the radiator. I was going to say the refrigerator. And eventually the car finished 7th or 8th, was it? 8th overall. So this is a truly historic car, beautifully restored.
This is the car of John Conroy from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. It is a 1949 MGTC EXU. And if you have ever been around an alloy, or let me point out, aluminum Jaguar, to have one with no bumps in it is astonishing. I mean, you can dent this car by looking at it intently. You don't have to touch it, but it is a great example of a 1949 Jaguar XK120 alloy. Our final Lion Award winner, this goes back to 1911 in Pierce Arrow. It is a Model 36 4-passenger tonneau Robert Renders of Grand Haven, Michigan. We saw him a little bit earlier in a previous car. This is the Pierce Arrow convertible coupe, dated 1934. Fred Smith out of Rochester, Michigan, has got an absolutely gorgeous car. This is a 1917 Cadillac 55 Club Roadster. Robert Merrifield from Meadowbrook, Illinois, is the car owner, and this in the early category is one of the more remarkable cars. Very few of these Club Roadsters were built, and if you will note, it is not a two-seater Roadster. A lovely lady sitting in the back seat. Here is a Cadillac with the steering wheel on the right. It is Ron Bissett. Ron Bissett is driving a 1914 Cadillac touring car. This is the tulip wood bodied car. 1908, Paul Ionario Sr. of Duncan, South Carolina. He heads up the BMW Museum. This is a tulip wood car, and it is believed to be the only existing example of this body style. If you notice the shape, it is shaped like a tulip. And what is unique about it, I can see from the rear, it is a chain drive. What a beautiful car indeed. A 1931 Cadillac V12 370A Sport Phaeton. Richard Schonk of Ashton, Maryland. It is one of 3 examples known as Dennis Adler makes the presentation. This is a 1930 Roadster from Monmouth Beach, New Jersey. And again, it gives you an example of the state of the art that Cadillac exhibited in 1930. This is a beautiful, very restrained car. It's not gaudy in any way. Coming up next is a 1941 version of the convertible coupe, model 6267D. It is a 1935 Cadillac 370D Fleetwood 4-door convertible from Ruston, Washington. Comes Bradley Hewson, a beautiful car. Bradley, thank you very much. Now it should be time for the V16 Phaeton. This is only one of 3 known to exist. They were sold with the rear seat speedometer and clock, and it is a V16 car. And this Lion Award winner is Dean and Feather Buchanan of Orchard Lake, Michigan. It is a 1930 LaSalle all-weather Phaeton. It is a Fleetwood custom body. And this again is the dual cowl version. It's got a second windshield back there to protect the rear seat passengers. And we have in this final Lion Award presentation a 1941 Cadillac 4-door convertible. 6229D, the model number. This is Jack Munson from Muncie, Indiana. And take my breath away, John McMullen. Look at this. It is the only V16 built by the Murphy Body Company, originally built for the folks at Nabisco. John and Dora McMullen from Lapeer, Michigan, and their 1930 Cadillac V16 Phaeton Murphy. And this is a 1933 model 355C coupe with rumble seat and with passengers. See, rumble seats could be used, folks. In reality, they actually were the additional seats. Does it have a roll-down window so you can holler at the driver? It does. That's always well. It is a 1927 Cadillac. It is a model 314 7-passenger sedan. And I would say this would be described as stately. Our next is the gentleman that brings us a 1929 Cadillac Transformable Cabriolet Formal Town Car, Fred Caulfield from Holland, Ohio. And finally, our last Lion Award winner is a 1930 Cadillac V16 Imperial Limousine from Windsor, Ontario, Canada, Mickey Mulder. And our congratulations to him. This car, again, just exudes style and class. Now we come to Late Open. Our first one out is a 1952 custom 2-passenger. And this is what's unique about it. A 1952 2-passenger convertible. Priscilla Mead from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. From Manalapan, Florida, comes Tom Gerard. He has got a 1953 Cadillac Eldorado Sport convertible coupe. How do you know it is an Eldo? The quick way is look at the notch in the door, right, Steve?
Notch in the door and their wraparound windshield. That was the other thing that was significant.
Coming up next is the 1959 vintage, and the grille, again, reminiscing all the way back to the 40s with the egg crate impact, as you can see. It is a 1959 Eldorado Biarritz convertible. Rick Mullen from Oak Brook, Illinois, is the owner. Coming up next is the car made in 1960. It is the Eldorado Biarritz convertible, and you will see what happened after 1959 in the fin department. As that was the 59 going, now we come to 1960. I don't know that you would say subdued, but lessened just a little bit. Let's go back again in time to 1947. Ned Wright from Canton, Ohio, has brought to us his Cadillac Model 62 convertible. And again, another great example of the open car from the late period of Cadillacs. And our final award winner in the Lion Awards is a 1962-67 convertible. And it is Jim DiGregorio from Scottsdale, Arizona. And for Jim, his opportunity to show off his 1962 Caddy. We now move to the Best in Class Award for the late open Cadillacs. Again, PPG Industries Marilyn White, the manager of International Color Styling, to make the presentation. It is a 1956 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz convertible from Glendale, California. This is Paul Cox. All right, we move next to the late closed category. And one of the unique items here is this one is described as a flat top. Doesn't take a whole lot of figuring to understand why they call it that. Gerald and Carol Karasinski from Redford, Michigan, brings to us a 1960 four-window or four-door hardtop and the wraparound rear window, the distinctive feature of this car. Next up is John Muller. He comes from Atlanta, Georgia, and he brings with him a 1960 Cadillac Eldorado. This is the Eldorado Brome version, four-door hardtop again. Now notice the difference, no wraparound window here. And this is, as you noted, both 1960 cars. Here is the 1956 Cadillac Eldorado Seville. Philip and Mary Verzel from Maumee, Ohio. And this is a two-door hardtop version, and it is the American Dream Cadillac luxury car from the 50s. We go back again to 1959. It is a four-door Fleetwood hardtop. Now, you remember earlier the convertible that had the big fins? Well, guess what? It extended through in all of the body lines in that era, and here is a four-door hardtop with the giant fins. The Lion Award is being presented here to Edward and Star Herman from Salisbury, Connecticut. It is a 1929 Auburn 890 Speedster. And what a graphic example of the boat tail speedster in its finest form, because this car was the one that inspired oh so many others. Take a look, you can tell the difference in the two cars. The one that left earlier, a 29, this a 1935 Phil and Carol Bray, and it is a 1935 model 851 boat tail speedster SC. All right, coming up next is the American Performance Car. Our first Lion Award winner is a 1963 Chevrolet Impala, John Pastuca from Plymouth, Michigan. And the interesting point here, you cannot see it, but under the hood is a 409 cubic inch V8 engine, the ones with the scalloped cylinder heads.
I think there's a Beach Boys song about the 409.
409, that's right. 425 horsepower. The tack centered right above the steering column. You say, oh, look, it's another Chevelle, 1968.
Or a GTO.
Oh, no, it is a combo GTO Chevelle. In fact, it comes to us from Canada, and it is interesting indeed. Henry Wortham was explaining to me a little bit earlier the whole reasoning behind this car. It had something to do with the tariff laws and such, as they couldn't do a 69 Chevelle or 68.
Right.
And so it has been badged as a Pontiac.
As a Beaumont.
Uses the Pontiac grill, the Pontiac taillights, a 396 Chevrolet engine under the hood. Chevy running gear?
Yes, Chevrolet all the way.
So you'd say it's a Chevy, but it isn't. It is a Canadian
not a Chevy.
Beaumont, and
Yes.
was sold as a Pontiac. Next, from Clinton Township, Michigan, came James Stubbings. This is a 1967 Chevrolet Camaro RSSS. Time now for the best in class. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on a 1969 GTO Judge. This is the car owned by Glenn Concours. All right, we are getting ready to go with our next one, and we get started on our special awards. Let's hold that one off, take all of these and turn them upside down, and now we start from scratch. Ladies and gentlemen, our special awards, and these are cars you may have seen and have seen before. This is the Innovation Through Leadership and Strategy Process People or Technology Award. It goes to Ed Muir and his 1958 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham, the stainless steel topped car. And our congratulations to Ed, a big double winner here this weekend. Coming up next, it is the Richard Teague Award for the most significant Chrysler. What else could it be but the Keller Imperial Prototype Convertible, owned by Karen and Chip Laurie from Lafayette, New Jersey. It is a 1955 Chrysler. The William Mitchell Award, made in the memory of the great William Mitchell of General Motors. Darwin Clark in his 1963 Chevy Corvette split window coupe. First year of the Stingray, the only year of a split window. The award for the most outstanding interior goes to the 1927 Hispano Suiza of Fred and Alberta Berndt. This is the H6B Coupe Chauffeur, and they come to us from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Cast your eyes back this way. We talked earlier about the Curtis cars. Here's one that runs. It is a 1955 Curtis 500X, the Zedar Special, Rhonda and Myron Cottrell. The Spirit of the Automobilist Award. This is the 33 Maserati 8C3000. And I really love the title of this award. It goes to Willem Van Heisty from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and it is the special award, The Way It Was. Gary Cowger, the President, General Motors North America, to make the presentation to the most significant General Motors car exhibited at the 2002 Meadowbrook Hall Concours d'Elegance. And with great pleasure, I announce that Edward Stiefel III from Triadelphia, West Virginia, is the winner with the 1941 Cadillac Model 60 Special Formal Sedan with divider. From Dwayne and Jean Miller of Hiawassee, Georgia, it is a 1932 Lincoln Model KB dual cowl Phaeton. 8 years earlier, or 9 years earlier than that 41 Cadillac we just saw, but both exude luxury and style. Up next is the Dave Hulls Memorial Award. Dave Hulls, of course, the founder here at Meadowbrook Hall, and worked for so many years to make this into the premier car show here in the Midwestern part of the United States, and one of the most significant Concours d'Elegances anywhere in the world. And the award goes to Mr. Rick Mullen for the designer's choice. And who could have picked anything else but the 59 Cadillac convertible? Coming up next is our most unique convertible. Now, we've seen a whole bunch of them, from the Curtis car that we saw a moment ago that was the spirit of automobiling and motoring, to this, the Norberg 7-passenger V8 Cadillac 1939 convertible. Look at the size of this. And this is the most elegant award. I think Stephen and I noted it a little bit earlier. It could be none other than this one, the Cadillac V16, bodied by Murphy, John and Dora McMullen from Lapeer, Michigan. What a beautiful car this one is.
The car really just speaks for itself. You can just sit there and look at it. You don't even have to talk about it. Just stare at it. What a gorgeous thing.
Our next award goes to Engineering Excellence, and it is going to the 1930 Cord L29 Rolston Sport Touring Phaeton without power steering, owned by Craig Redding from Lambertville, New Jersey. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have been waiting for, the best in show of 2002, the 24th annual Meadowbrook Hall Concours d'Elegance, Arturo and Deborah Keller and the Asada Fracchini KM4 four-door tour convertible. And what a beautiful car, as from the stable of magnificent cars of Arturo Keller, yet another.
We're here at Meadowbrook 2002. Beautiful day. Beautiful for me especially because my car did good here. It's a 1960 Cunningham Le Mans Corvette raced by Briggs Cunningham and John Fitch first at Sebring, where it didn't do so good. It ended up on its roof with Mr. Fitch driving. Got repaired. A couple months later, went over to Le Mans, where John Fitch and Bob Grossman competed in the biggest horsepower, biggest cubic inch class at Le Mans. They came in first in class. They came in 8th overall, and this was the very first year Corvette went to Le Mans. It was quite a monumental win, and most monumental because the record held up till 2001, which is last year. So for almost 40 years, that record was intact. Thank goodness the C5Rs came in last year with the exact same finish. 8th overall, first in class. So I'm very proud of this car. It is the authentic article. We've searched the ends of the earth for all the proper pieces to go with it, the pieces that weren't already on the car. It was a street car as recently as 3 years ago. It was purchased, it was restored by Corvette Repair Incorporated, Valley Stream, New York. A great team of people that definitely worked night and day to get this together. This is his first outing here at Meadowbrook. Couldn't be happier with the response of the crowd and the award. Okay, the other thing is kind of an interesting story, how it finished at Le Mans. They had a rule. The rule says that fluids can't be added any more frequently than 25 laps. So Zora thought this car wouldn't make it on a 37 gallons of fuel, which is a huge fuel tank. They added on to the fuel tank 5 gallons to 42 gallons to make sure that it would travel the 25 laps. However, what they hadn't planned on was a mechanic opening the radiator and checking the coolant only to let air in. Now they can't add any fluid there either. So the car went out, overheated dramatically. It pegged the needle, and Bob Grossman was driving at the time. He'd take it out, he'd drive one lap, then they'd sit, they'd throw dry ice on the motor. There was no rule prohibiting this until after the race, thank goodness. So for the last 2 hours, it came in 4 times for dry ice. The mechanics threw the dry ice on it. Had to be out within a half an hour, and a half an hour came up. Grossman took it out. The very last lap, it expired. Grossman didn't. He coasted it across the line, winning class and coming in 8th overall. It was monumental. The crowd went wild. The crowd honestly didn't particularly like American machinery, but this was a monumental thing. America could have been very proud of Le Mans in 1960.
I'm Frank Kleps from Terre Haute, Indiana. The car is a 1954 Curtis, built by Frank Curtis, who built all the race cars back in those days. It's one of 35 of the sports cars that he built. It's a great little piece. You could order it with any engine you wanted. In fact, the first car had a Hudson engine because it was for a Hudson dealer. This one has a 54 Dodge D500 engine, which is a small block Hemi. It's adequate for the car, believe me. I bought it as a basket, you know, that's the way most of them are bought. And put her together. Enjoyed it. That's the fun, putting them together.